Hello and welcome. You are tuning in to Almost 30 Podcast.
Hi, everybody. It's Lindsey and Krista. I'm learning how to sit as a podcaster.
Oh,
He gave a tutorial, and I was like, we can't both do this.
On how to sit to
So let me
hide parts of your body, to emphasize parts of your
We're
body.
on YouTube, so you can check us out. I am... Okay, I think this is it.
This is how I'm sitting and twerking.
Welcome to the show. We are best friends. We are, we've been doing this for 8 years, and it's been a freaking joy to serve you all in this way. We've learned so much about ourselves, and also hopefully have supported a lot of you in your life transitions happening.
Yeah, we've been on tour all over the world 2 years in a row. We've done live shows and events. We have courses and programs, a membership. We did a merch line one time. We are amazing.
Yeah.
And my name's Krista. This is Lindsey. Today we're going to be doing a special episode. So at Almost 30, we do amazing interviews with change makers and leaders, authors, healers, gurus. And then we also do solo episodes where I get down on things that I'm going through, things that I'm learning, teachings that I want to share. Lindsey does the same. And then every once in a while we do solo episodes with just Lindsey and I together, which is so much fun. One of my favorite things. We did an interview where Lindsey interviewed me. And then today I'm going to interview Lindsey, which I don't think we've ever done before.
No.
We've never turned the tables on
First
each
time
other.
ever.
First time ever we've ever interviewed each other. So it's nice for us to drop in because for anyone listening to Almost 30, if you've listened for a while, if you're an OG listener, you've seen us go through it. Lindsey had 7 years of single at the beginning of the pod. I was in a long-term relationship. We did a flippy floppy. Mm-hmm. She's now happily married with baby. I am now on the streets. I am now on these freaking streets, baby.
As God would have it.
As God would have it, God said, whoop.
Dude, my husband makes fun of me so bad for the 7 years of singleness. He does a skit like every other day.
I can't wait.
He's like, I'm Lindsey. I was single for 7 years. And he's like, because the joke is like, I wasn't really single. I was dating.
So fun. But
I was dating.
That's branding, baby.
He's like,
that's business.
He's like, babe.
That's business. Where you're like, I was homeless.
He's
and
like,
you
the
literally
7
were
years
never
of
homeless.
singleness.
I was talking about that recently with a friend, how like now you monetize your struggle.
Yeah. Oh.
I was talking about with my friend
do you mean?
Debbie. It's like, she's like, it's so funny now because before it was like you'd monetize your perfection. And now you monetize your struggle where you're like, I was homeless on the streets.
Totally.
And you literally weren't.
Go from couch to...
to 8 figures.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Basically, you tell your audience you're making $80,000 a month, and then they pay you $80,000 a month, and then you do the circle of telling them how to do it.
Yeah.
So you like never actually make it, whatever. But yeah, it was funny. I even witnessed that too. I'm like, you weren't really like it's not like you were just sitting on your hands for 7 years.
No. And like the story, if you join the program, the story is really that for the first, I would say 4 years, I was dating my tits off and like just learning through dating. Mm-hmm. And then I had that moment of just like, I'm not going to date anymore right now. And it was really kind of a dive inward that was both hard, but also like the best thing.
How long were you? So you were not dating?
I'd say for
a year.
Yeah. I'd say like maybe a little bit more than a year.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think I got to the point where I was settling so hard for bad behavior, like every time.
I'm like, preach, sister.
I know. And I had to get really fucking honest with myself and just be like, what do you believe about yourself that is basically perpetuating this pattern? And I was attracting people who confirmed how I felt about myself.
Which was what?
Which was I do believe that I'm an amazing person. Yeah. Like I have that like core belief.
Yes.
And I also always felt like I wasn't quite there. Mm-hmm. And I still sometimes feel that way where the person is smarter than me. They know more than me. I would fawn a lot. I would assume that I'm wrong and that I need to make amends or I need to do better. And I wasn't really taking ownership of like, how do I want to feel with this person? And is this person capable of making me feel that way and or our relationship making me feel that way. So I just had to like unhook from all of it, unhook from the apps, unhook from dating. LA was such a gnarly place for me to date at the time, especially in the place that I was in. I kept attracting people who literally could not see me. Like, you know, when someone looks at you and they're looking past you?
Yeah.
That's who I was dating.
Yeah.
And it was so wild. And I had to get really honest about what about that is initially attractive to me. And I think it makes me think now of like when I initially met my now husband, which freaked me the fuck out because he really saw me. And that gave me the ick. And it wasn't about him. It was about me really seeing me, the good and the bad. So I think I enjoyed when guys weren't totally engaged because it did not require me to look at myself.
And I think it also gives you a goal to achieve. You know, I always think about I think about that with dating. It's like, or I don't even know if it's dating, but it's that part of me. And I always imagine like a little girl in a crib that's just looking for the mother or the father to kind of come to her or like be with her or be present with her or give her the attention. And it's like, if you're always with someone that's looking past you, you're kind of always like, okay, something for me to do.
Yeah.
Got to be hotter. Got to be more interesting.
Right.
Got to be cooler. Got to like do this with my body. You're just constantly on the train of looking and contorting yourself for the attention and affection of someone.
And my thing was, I think to get attention, it was doubling down on whether it's like using my body, sex. Like that was kind of my currency to bring someone in.
Oh, yeah.
Which was hilarious because it's not like I was a fucking dominatrix queen, right? Like I'm just like a regular girl.
With a banging bod though.
But I knew I was attracting people who liked that.
Totally.
To a fault.
Totally.
Where they were all about that.
Totally.
So I was like, let me double down on that and seduce you and totally abandon how I really feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a mess.
I think it's interesting for people to think about listening. Like, what is your hook, you know, in dating? Like, what is the thing that you think gets you the person, the relationship? You know, is it your body? Is it the way you look? Is it your money? Is it your status? Is it your job? Like, what are you thinking that someone's going to be initially attracted to you for? I think for women, obviously, it's a lot looks, but then there's something happens where it switches, where it's like, yes. And then you're like, wait, I'm not enough. Like, this is not working. So when you met Sean again and you were metabolizing someone that was seeing you, how did you like allow yourself to know it was right and like not like dangerous or bad?
So we reconnected in October of 2019, and that year was really interesting. In March of 2019, you and I went and did ayahuasca.
What? Oh my God, that was that year? What?
Yeah.
I believe you, but it's like, what?
Isn't that crazy?
That's blowing my mind.
So we did ayahuasca in March, which we have episodes on our ayahuasca experience. You can just search ayahuasca almost 30, but both of our experiences were very gentle. But what I realized in those ceremonies was I felt the goodness of my heart.
Oh.
And it was just like feeling that I knew instantly that very few people I had been with loved and appreciated the goodness of my heart, you know? So it was like, I loved that. I was like, oh, that's how I want to feel. But it started with me feeling that way. And then after that ceremony in March, I did actually start to meet some like pretty dope people. Date, I think it was like 2 people that came in, and it was showing me what was possible. They weren't my person, but I was like, wow, you know, I just love how they listen. I love their thoughtfulness. I love how they like look at me. You know, I don't know. It was just, it was showing me what was possible. Then in August of 2019, I went on a solo trip, as I did many, many times during that era. I went to a little town north of, I think it was north of Ojai, and I stayed in this little Airstream on someone's property. And it was like a shamanic experience. I cried the whole time, and it wasn't like there was some sadness, but there was also just, and I took pictures of myself
I remember the pictures.
because I was just like so in my heart, and I felt like he was so close, and I was like so excited, and it had been a fucking hero's journey up until that point, it felt like. And I think the tears really for me were, I'm okay no matter what. I can't wait to meet him, but like, I am okay. I love myself deeply, and I'm okay no matter what. And that was like a sad realization and a happy realization at the same time, because you're like, I don't want to be alone forever.
Yes. You're like, don't take this.
Yeah, I was like, but this has taken a lot of work to get here, and I'm just like so proud.
I just got my text reminder that I will be receiving my Symbiotica shipment soon, which I'm so happy about. Every single month, I have Symbiotica shipped to my door. I make sure that I have my favorite supplements right there. I'm never running out. If you don't know Symbiotica, they're a health and wellness company that does everything with intention. They are just the best. Their formulas are backed by science, and their supplements only contain clean plant-based ingredients without toxins or harmful chemicals. We've had the founder Shervin on the podcast a few times, and they are some of our most popular episodes. He is the real deal. And I just wanted to recommend some of the supplements that I am taking that have made such a difference in my energy, in my skin, in my mood, in my gut health, in my brain health. I am taking their magnesium L-threonate. This comes in a liposomal form. A liposomal form is like a liquid, jelly liquid that's super yummy. This one is a vanilla cream flavor. I look forward to it every single morning. This helps my brain health, focus, and memory. I also love their vitamin C. This is not only for immunity, which we know very well, but it's also benefits skin health. Yes, my skin is glowing. Skin, hair, and nails, baby. It has biotin, one of nature's most beautifying ingredients. And I'm also loving their vitamin D3K2. It is super important that we make sure our vitamin D levels are at the right level. Most of us are vitamin D deficient. So I take this every single day, just squirt 12 little pumps under my tongue, take it down. It's delicious. So if you want to give them a try, there is no better time. You can use the code almost30 at symbiotica.com, CYMBIOTIKA. The code is almost30 for 20% off your order. I am back on my clothing rental train because I am wearing real clothes again after having a baby. I am just obsessed with Nuuly and UULY. It's a subscription clothing rental service that's all about helping you have fun and get creative with your style. I just have a blast. I choose things that I wouldn't normally choose because maybe I would never find them, or I just would never think of them as like being cool. But Nuuly just gives me so many styles and brands that I'm like, yes, oh my God, this like totally satisfies a part of my personality that needs to be expressed. So every month I rent 6 items from Nuuly's shared closet of over 17,000 styles for everything I have going on. So much going on, but actually whether I'm like recording for the podcast, I'm going on vacation next month, so I need some pieces for that. Date night with my hubby, all the things. I just got some premium jeans, some frame jeans. I've been dying to try frame. They're amazing. They have sweaters, outerwear, vacation fits, you name it, everything. I love that I get to try out trending styles and colors and silhouettes, then send them back for something new. Nuuly takes care of everything from shipping to laundry. I can even pause without paying a fee if I need to take a break for any reason. So freaking nice. You are going to love Nuuly. All of the brands are just so bomb. Brands like Free People, Urban Outfitters, ASTR, Amanda Uprichard, Sister Jane, which I love, and For Love and Lemons. Yes. I'm obsessed. You're going to love Nuuly. So for our listeners, we got you. Normally it's a great value, $98 a month for 6 styles. Awesome. But right now you can get $20 off your first month of Nuuly when you sign up with the code almost 30. NUULY.com. That's Newly with 2 U's, and enter the code almost 30 and sign up to get $20 off your first month. The code is almost 30. Go to Newly.com, NUULY.
And then in September 2019, we went to onsite.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
Which is like it's like a therapy retreat, a group therapy retreat, kind of like Hoffman, like the Hoffman process, but it's located in Nashville, Tennessee. So it was a group of, I think, 60 creatives and people that were like public figures. And
in our group.
a week of really, really deep therapeutic work. So that year we had done 4 nights of ayahuasca, and then that's a lot.
Yeah. And my work there was mainly done around my childhood, but it was directly correlated who I had been attracting up until that point. Meanwhile, like, Sean's not on my radar, although I did email him back in March after I came back from ayahuasca, and I replied to one of his MMLs. The MML is he does like a twice weekly newsletter. It's like a curation of quotes, the Monday Morning Lift. And I replied and I said something about a quote, and I was like, just wanted to see how you're doing. I think I'm going to be in New York this fall. Like, we should touch base. And he just kind of wrote it off because he was like, she does this. Like, she fucking dances around. Like, he was dating someone at the time. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. Like, whatever. And, but I didn't feel anything. I always felt something for him.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like he's my person. I need to go after him. I was just like, I want to touch base with him. And then after onsite, we eventually went on, we were on our tour, went to New York for the tour. I was living in LA at the time. And yeah, he reached out to me and was like, I saw that you were in New York. Sorry, I missed you. Hope the podcast is doing well. Let's catch up soon. I was still there. We met up that week. And I guess in sitting down to dinner with him, how I knew, because I knew that night. First of all, my angels told me earlier that day, you guys are going to kiss.
Wow.
And I was like, fun. I'm down with that. Like, whatever. And at dinner, it was like I was so in my body, but I was also like, I felt like my guides were back here and they're just like, do you see what we see? And I was like, oh my God, like, he's my person. Like, this is so weird. And he's like going on about something. And I was just like the most peaceful, lean back, like I've ever been. And I said something to him. He was, talking about, he had just broken up with his girlfriend a month earlier. And I was like, and I had asked him, like, what do you want in a person, And then I was like, I feel like when we talk about what we want in other people, like, I feel like we're talking about each other. And it came out of my mouth. And I wasn't like shocked in the moment, but I saw the shock on his face. And then I was like, it's almost like when you channel, it's like something comes out
often. Yeah.
You're just like, well, that was true.
Oh my God, I know.
That was totally true.
Yes.
And then I just held it. And he was like, jaw drop, like, could not speak, because so many times I had just been like, no. But I felt it in my...
And Lindsey Simsick being clear.
I know.
At that time.
I know. It was extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I just knew. And I didn't know if he was ready. I didn't know if it was a yes for him yet. He needed a moment. But I was like, unflappable. And that's how I knew. Like, I knew it in my body. My anxiety didn't kick in. It was just like, okay. Like, we had aligned, my guides, God, we were like, we're here. Mm-hmm. And I had just like deep faith in like whatever was going to happen next. And yeah, I would just say it was a feeling. It was like all the work I had done aligning with that feeling in the moment, and not feeling like I had to run, like I had to go into my head and figure it out. It was just like the truth was all right there in my body, and it clicked in, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to overfunction right now or anything.
Yes. Like, now it's just allowing the plan to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Being in a marriage and moving into motherhood and family, what's that process been like? Because that's a different game.
Yeah. We got married August of 2022. And then got pregnant in December of 2022. And we knew we wanted kids. We didn't know how soon it would happen, but we were open to it. We just kind of like said a prayer. We're like, okay, we're open and ready, but like on your time, which that's a whole other podcast. Because I think patience when you're quote trying to get pregnant is really challenging, and it's kind of working against the system in your body and like the divine timing. But I always knew that Sean would be an incredible father, and I knew that I would be a great mom. Like I never had an experience that would tell me otherwise. So I was grateful for that. But now being in it, nothing and everything prepares you for motherhood. It's like I felt deeply lonely. I've felt incredibly overwhelmed. And then I've also at the same time felt so equipped and so on purpose. And so in your episode, we were talking about just this like experience of the great contrast. Like pregnancy and motherhood thus far has been such a great contrast. And it's just given me this new experience in life where everything is new, I'm pushed to my limits, but I'm also feeling more like myself than ever. So all that to say, it's been refreshing because I think before this season of my life, I was kind of cruising for a period of time. Like I was in a season of just not pushing myself too much. And so navigating this like very new experience, I have no choice but to be so present and also give myself so much grace for when I am not, or for when I don't know what to do, or for when I short circuit. So yeah, I'm really grateful. And I think to have a partner in this, to be able to navigate together and to talk through everything, which I think we do really well. Like, I don't know what I would do without that. I don't know what moms do that don't feel supported by their partner. You know, it's such an integral piece of like this entire experience.
Yeah, and for a baby to have their dad.
Yeah.
It's so wild. I mean, I'm not even a mom yet, but you get close to it and you're like, how does a single mother,
I have no idea,
working jobs, do it?
I mean, that was Sean's mom. You know, she had 2 boys and was in nursing school, eventually became a nurse. And she says, like, you just do it. You know, you love your children and you just do it. She's like, but it was really hard. She did have a little bit of a village, right? Like she had friends and aunts and things like that. But I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
It's really crazy how much it demands of you. And I think my experience of also working, it's like taking it, I'm still getting used to it. And I'm still wanting to be the best in both. And it's like not possible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you just have to, it's a dance. It's a dance.
How are you navigating the experience of like growing up? Because I think about Sean's mom and like her village, and a lot of that's cultural.
Yes.
You know, Sean's Jamaican. And so how do you think about growing up or raising a biracial baby?
Yeah.
The most beautiful baby on earth.
Yeah, it's something we talk about a lot. And, you know, Sean and I feel deeply that like we're we have been chosen by Mav to be his parents for a very specific reason. So for my faults, for my, the incredible parts of me, for what I still have to learn, and same with Sean. And so when it comes to having a white mother and a Black father, like, I know that whatever comes his way and or our way or our family's way, that what we're meant to learn together and individually is absolutely perfect. And I think it's been important for me to let go of the fear of encountering those moments and also doing them imperfectly. Because I would get tripped up early in my relationship with Sean where I wanted to say the perfect thing.
Yeah.
We were living.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can trust me.
We were living together in 2020.
Yeah.
And it was wild. And we needed to be together during that time. The riots in LA, George Floyd, this, that, the other. And it was so intense. And I didn't know how to be. I didn't know how to be supportive. I didn't know how to ask him questions about his experience during these times. And I was tiptoeing, and it was not me. And it was also not what he needed. And it was frankly freaking him out. And so I'm really thankful for that crunchy period because it allowed us to have really real conversations, and also for me to feel like I don't need to be perfect at all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, it's liberated me as I navigate this. And just in terms of the village, like, Sean is just such a community person. So I really look to him and learn from him as far as like bringing people in. Cause candidly, I grew up with, my dad was not very social. He was not very open. He didn't really want people, strangers in the house. Like, I never had friends over, like, rarely. And, we'd never have babysitters. We would never have like really aunts and uncles watch us, maybe once in a blue moon. So I didn't understand the value of like your community also raising the child. So I'm really learning from Sean, from his mom, from his friends, like what that looks like. And then also bringing like my own approach to it.
Okay, I love when technology meets health. I have a new product that I am using every single day to learn more about my metabolic health. I'm sure you've heard about metabolic health and how important it is. I'll talk about that in a moment. But I'm using Lumen every single morning, Lumen. This is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. So this is a device I use every morning. I breathe into it and it measures my metabolism. And then on the app, it lets me know if I'm in a fat burning state or I am in a carb burning state. And it basically gives me tailored guidance to improve my nutrition, workout, sleep, and even stress management for the day. It's been so helpful because honestly, I had no idea what was I in a fat burning state? What should I do? I had no clue. As you know, I had a baby about 8 months ago. And so I'm just kind of getting back into the swing. And this has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I'm sleeping better. I feel better. I have more energy. So again, Lumen is the first of its kind. Now, why does metabolism matter? It's at the center of everything your body does. Optimal metabolic health translates to a bunch of benefits, including easier weight management, improved energy levels, better fitness results, better sleep, and Lumen just gives you those recommendations to improve your metabolic health with each breath. Also, ladies, it can track your cycle as well as the onset of menopause, and it will adjust your recommendations to keep your metabolism healthy through your hormonal shifts. Now, the key to metabolic health that I've learned is something called metabolic flexibility. That's where Lumen really, really shines. So this refers to your body's ability to efficiently switch between using different fuel sources like carbs and fats. Basically, like its ability to switch very easily between the two. And so it's been really interesting to see what affects my metabolic health, whether it's like lack of sleep or I'm not getting enough nutrients or I'm not properly hydrated. So after this device gets to know you through your breath, Lumen will give a metabolic flex score that you can track and improve upon. So that was a lot, but also, y'all, it is so simple, and I am extremely excited to introduce this to you. Lumen is the handheld metabolic coach that you need. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me and use almost 30 as the code to get $50 off your Lumen. That's lumen.me. lumen.me and use code almost 30 at checkout for $50 off. Thanks so much, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode. Your girl has been on her manifesting game, and I have found a way in which I have been able to visualize my future in a way that I've never done before. And it is through a new type of audio. I'm sure you haven't heard of it before. It's new. It has the potential to change your life. It's changed mine. You need to know about this app. It's called Superhuman. They offer a new type of visualization audio called activations. Activations are a new groundbreaking type of audio that are a mix between a motivational podcast, cinematic music, and guided visualization. I'm sure you've meditated before. Meditation is to calm you. Activations are to transform you into your best self. Y'all, I have been using this app every single morning. Your girl is a new mom. She doesn't have a ton of time, to be completely honest, but it's been game changing. I go on to the Superhuman app, and this morning I woke up in a funk and I did a 6-minute seated activation when you're feeling low. And so I just really wanted to, meet myself where I was and also lift myself up out of the low. And it was really, really powerful. It almost felt like I was dropping into like a scene in a movie, in the movie of my life. It was really beautiful and powerful. Also recently I listened to the walking activation. I'm a walking girly. Become your magnetic future self. This one was powerful. I've been listening to this one on repeat. But listen, if you are someone that has tried meditation and have been able to stick to it as a habit, activations are for you. They're just also fundamentally different, super, super powerful. Whether you want to lose weight, earn more money, get clarity, or simply just feel like you're reaching your potential in life, listening to these activations in everyday moments is going to get you there faster. They have reminded me to embody the energy of my future self, which I know in turn will help me change my thoughts, my beliefs, and actions to align with that future me. It is backed by science and self-image psychology, and it really works. Superhuman is the only tool that makes it super easy to integrate visualization into your daily life through audio. Oh, I can't wait for you to try it. Superhuman is a new revolution in personal development and manifestation. You need to try this, especially if you tried meditation before and didn't stick to it. Plus, I'm revealing my go-to activation playlist so you can listen to the same ones I do. Get 14 days free, see my favorites, and head to activations.com/almost30 for over 60% off your membership. Whoa. Major, they never do discounts. The discount is only available through the website, not the app store. There's a money back guarantee as well, 100% risk free. These audios have the potential to completely change your life. As I said, they are the ultimate way to visualize your future self. Activations are the shortcut to get to where you want to be, and you can only find them on Superhuman. Don't miss out on this crazy deal. They rarely do discounts. On top of the 14-day free trial, get over 60% off your subscription for a limited time only at activations.com/almost30. There's literally no risk. If you change your mind and forget to cancel after the trial, you're covered by their money back guarantee. The discount is only available through the website, not the app store. That's activations.com/almost30 for over 60% off. This expires soon.
When I think about motherhood, I think about I think about creativity. I had this really beautiful session with this reader that I'm going to get you a session with in New York. Lives in this probably $3 million place that he's had rent controlled. Maybe pays $2,000 a month off Prince Street. And he's a palm reader. And he was saying something. I was like, "What about motherhood?" And he's like, "Someone like you that's so creative There's no way you're not going to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think about creativity now? Because you're such a creative person, you have so much creative expression. What would you say the relationship between your creativity and motherhood is now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we hear this, like creating a life is creative, but when you experience it, you understand the tenets of creativity like you've never understood it before. There is a surrendering, a letting go. There is, a deep presence that is necessary. There is an unattachment that is necessary. There is a deep connection to your intuition that is necessary. So I've just learned a lot about what it takes to actually create something, because before I was kind of coming from this era of fast creation, pumping content out, just creating in that way, which is actually not really natural for me. So to go through a gestation period with the baby of almost 10 months, it's like, wow, like patience, presence, not rushing, tending to the nuance of how we feel, and preparation, and really taking your time to prepare for when they're here. So I kind of reconnected with the creative process that feels most natural to me. What I do with it from this point forward, I'm not sure. Right now, what that looks like is being really slow with the ideas that are orbiting right now. A few have dropped in, and it's like, how do I not rush this just because I feel pressure to put something out? I've been reckoning with just this idea that I'm only like, I'm not only a mother, but right now it's
No, that's right.
everything that I'm thinking about, that I'm doing every day. Obviously I'm doing other things, but it's like, you are so changed. And so it doesn't feel authentic to me to be like, and also check out my Sacredness of Being Single course, because I'm kind of like, it's there, but I'm like, I don't know. It's not really something I'm connecting to in this moment. So it's just that. It's like reckoning with like, who am I now?
Yeah.
Do I need to put something out in order to stay relevant? Is being relevant in my personal life and connected in my personal life the most important thing, which I think is yes. And I think it deserves that, whether it's my friendships, my family, my son. I've enjoyed kind of being in this process of coming back to that slowly, because we were in a building stage for so long, and my brain is unable to do all at once. So I'm really tending to those things that I haven't tended to.
Yeah, you're like the most present person that I've ever met.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You could stare at a wall and just be like,
I feel like
that's always my like vision of you. I'm like, she could just stare at a wall and
we've gotten readings, and
it's like crazy.
What was that one reading? And they're like, yeah, Lindsey could spend every day just hanging on the beach.
Oh yes.
And Krista's like, my hell.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, they're like, you're just Yeah, like Lindsey's just relaxing.
I know.
I'm like throwing.
You're like fighting battles in the spiritual.
I'm like, this is not enough for me and my soul.
But there's a part of me that's like, what's wrong with me?
No, it's that's what's so hard about the world.
I know.
It's like, no, you actually have your value. It's like,
I know.
This is my biggest struggle. I feel like when I have my values and priorities straight, I'm not as successful. Because if my values and priorities are presence, my relationships offline, enjoying my life, being at peace, that means I'm offline. That means I'm logged off.
Yes.
So how can we be actually living the right values and priorities of life and still be successful in a world that doesn't prioritize those things? Doesn't prioritize the family, doesn't prioritize the home, doesn't prioritize classic conservative values. Just kidding.
Part 2 coming soon.
Yeah, I was
Classic
like,
conservative
the reveal.
values.
Part 2.
Da, 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 da.
We're here to protect our home. We're here to protect the nuclear family. We're here to protect.
What happened to women sweeping the kitchen?
Honestly, I'm here to get us back in the kitchen. I'm here to get us back living at home, relaxing. That Ali Wong bit is the funniest.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Ali Wong did this like whole comedy set where she's like, what was wrong with us? She's like, we had it good. We just hung out at home all day long. And then we all had to be like, we want to work. She's like, I don't want to fucking work. Why did we fight to work?
Yeah, dude.
She's like, we had it made. I'm like, that was iconic. That was years ago. That was like years ago. So she was just ahead of her time.
So true.
What's your prayer right now?
Just God help me to be where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not succumb to like the pressures and or stories or beliefs around where I should be that really aren't mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does that story say? Where you should be?
There's a few that float. It's like I should be creating something right now that's like next. Like, what's the next chapter, the next offering, the next thing? It says that motherhood, solely being a mother and like with my family is not enough. I'm falling behind. I have so many things to do. How am I going to get them done today? Like when I'm like changing Mav this morning, I'm like, we have a book. Deadline. We have it.
Yeah.
And he's staring at me, just like giggling. And I'm like, just be here.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Things get done. We get it done. But if you're worrying about it right now, like this moment will not be the gift that it is, you know?
Yes. Favorite quote right now that you're percolating on or ruminating on?
Oh. It's a good one. I
loved this quote that you had that you shared with our shared notes. Come to terms with the fact that what you think you want will never compare to what God knows you need. By Rob Hill Sr.
Love me some Rob Hill.
And then I loved this one that you had too. You've made a habit of running other people's races and wondering why you never have any energy left when it's time to go the distance for yourself. By Billy Chapada.
Same theme, you know?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you.
Love you guys. So grateful for you. You can subscribe on YouTube. We're now on YouTube on video. Come join us. Come join the fam. And Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We also have Morning Microdose, our second show, all for you. Almost30.com. We have courses and programs. If you want to start a podcast, we have Podcast Pro for you. We also have our membership, which is incredible. Instagram and TikTok, Almost 30 Podcast. You can find me on socials. It's Krista.
And I'm at Lindsey Simsick.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next one. Love you so much. Bye.
Bye.